Hi, my name is Emma, and let's talk spooky stuff. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Emma, also known as Spooky Astronauts here on YouTube. I do 2 videos at least every single week talking about horror movies and thrillers. And this was not a planned review, but after seeing what I just witnessed, I'm compelled. Werewolves aren't a subgenre of horror I usually gravitate towards. I'm not really an action type of person, and usually werewolf films are full of that. Of course, there are some exceptions that take it a little bit deeper, like An American Werewolf in London, Ginger Snaps, When Animals Dream, and of course the original Wolfman. These are all horror films that take the traditional idea of a werewolf and put a spin on it, and say something about friendship, vulnerability, and most of all, about fighting who you truly are. So when I was recently playing catch up for all of the horror movies I had yet to see in 2020, imagine my surprise when an offbeat horror comedy snuck in one of the most important and relatable messages in any horror film I have seen lately. And it was a werewolf film.
This is scary. It's new. I never saw a body like that.
There's gonna be a lot of late nights and overtime because of the brutal murder that happened in town. And I didn't want to set up expectations that I can't keep.
Our expectations of you are very low.
Jim Cummings not only directs The Wolf of Snow Hollow, but he wrote it and stars as the main struggling protagonist, John Marshall. Marshall is the upcoming sheriff of a small town that is being torn apart by brutal attacks that have been targeting women. As the massacre continues, Marshall loses a grip on his sobriety as rumors arise that the suspect may not be human. The film runs for 1 hour and 23 minutes, and that was completely shocking to me with the amount of character depth and development that takes place. The film does not miss a beat, and although some viewers will be distracted by the non-stop unwinding mystery, the montage of a police force falling apart, and of course Marshall being an asshole that still manages to make you smirk, there's an underlying message to the whole story. The film is a story about protection, not only against pure evil, but against all acts of hatred, no matter how small they may seem. At the beginning of the film, we see 2 men exiting a bar when one makes a homophobic slur. A stranger to them pulls them up on it, making his girlfriend feel uncomfortable.
Coming? You guys, where are we going? We're going to Porter's?
Excuse me.
Please don't do this.
Mind keeping it down?
This is soon forgotten, but stay with me because it does link together. Later in the film, Marshall discusses where the term werewolf originated from, an excuse for brutality, a mythological cover-up.
There's no magic, there's no transformation. In fact, the only reason it happens on a full moon is because it was bright enough to be able to sneak up and kill somebody.
And because I want to keep this spoiler free, let's just say this theme is again echoed in the last scene, which really gave me chills. The film, although leaning into the mystery crime aspect, drops breadcrumbs of something bigger, something that maybe it can rub off on its viewers. And then there's Marshall himself. Not only is his whole backstory very compelling and complex, his struggle with his sobriety is a parallel to transforming into the werewolf on a full moon. Someone who falls off the wagon and becomes someone else who is completely destructive to their own lives and to others. In an interview with the channel Film Speak, which I will link down below, Cummings relates this idea to films like Rosemary's Baby that could be seen as a metaphor for postpartum depression, or The Exorcist that could be seen as a metaphor for mental illness. Cummings utilizes the comedy to keep the pace fast, avoiding extended bridging and spooky atmosphere. It's slick and it's to the point, relying on witty dialogue to keep the audience glued to the screen while the story moves fast. It's like a fast-paced Fargo meets a werewolf, but it also draws inspiration from one of Cummings' favorite directors, which is David Fincher. He explained that he wanted to make a small-budget film that was like a Fincher epic, something that had mystery but also had moments where it lets its guard down. Usually I talk about cinematography, lighting, and soundtrack, but for me, these weren't standout aspects in this film. It's not a vibey, spooky, slow burn, as I've mentioned, but there was something a little bit more intriguing about this film, and that was the shot choices. the way they chose to reveal to the audience. Because it's based on a police investigation, the way they chose to present the murders, bodies, and crime scene photos is pretty jarring. They don't give lead up time and build up to the tension before the reveal. The bodies are just there. And because of the mystery, we are usually shown the brutal scene before we even realize a death has taken place. This turns the classic gory slasher reveal on its head. Instead of the tension, the fear, the build up to the moment, the gore, the reveal, the pain, the death, we witness extreme gore without any warning. Also, usually the snow would add an extra layer of isolation to the film. The cold weather, the blue tones, but the Wolf of Snow Hollow seems to skip over this because a werewolf only comes out on the full moon, and a full moon can happen anywhere. But Cummings did explain that he saw this like the characters of this film were trapped in their own snow globe, which I thought was a really cool idea. Totally helpless and totally cut off and isolated from society. Overall, this film has a lot going for it, and I really hope that Cummings continues to make horror because obviously he's bringing a completely different perspective and he's bringing in aspects to the genre which haven't been played around with to this extent before. I was totally caught off guard by this film. I had no idea how different it was going to be to other films I had seen in the last 5 years. This film was so insightful for me and I laughed the whole way through, and I have to admit at the end, a single tear did roll down my cheek. For me, this film was totally meta because I thought I was putting on a background film, but in reality, this was just a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm gonna give this film a personal score of 8 out of 10. I know, that's pretty big for me. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 just for the gore. I don't think it's a scary film, but I do think it's quite gory and quite shocking. And for originality, I'm gonna give it a 7. I think the aspects of this film and the way it was put together is just genius. And I was completely shocked by this film. I really didn't expect I was gonna go in loving it, as I keep saying, but wow. I can't wait to see what you guys think about this film. Let me know if you've seen it, what you thought, if you loved it. If you didn't like it, let me know why, and what did you or didn't you like about it. Please let me know down below. I can't wait to read your comments. If you do want to subscribe to my channel, I would really like that. Also, I am wearing my merch. If you hadn't seen this before, Justin Long has just become part of our appreciation club. Here is the video. I made this shirt with Loudmouth Threads. It is available still now, and I'll link it down below. Pretty cool. Justin Long bought one, which I think is awesome. What a cool guy, obviously, and that's why we stan. Is that how I meant to say that? I don't know. I'm 30. Yikes. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day. If you haven't checked out my 12 Days of Christmas, please do. It's currently ongoing, a mystery movie that I unwrap every single episode, so I hope you enjoy that, and I'll talk to you very soon. Have a great day. Stay spooky. Bye.